Welcome to part 9 of 10 in the series from my graduate course, Research Methods in Communication. In this video, we dive into the acknowledgement section of a scientific article, another key component in presenting your research with clarity and impact. This series is designed to empower you with a deeper understanding of scientific writing, so you can communicate your work effectively. For a comprehensive mastery of this skill, I encourage you to explore the other sections available on my YouTube channel. Let's strengthen your scientific writing together. The acknowledgement section of a scientific paper is a designated space for authors to express gratitude to individuals, groups, or institutions that supported the research in meaningful ways but did not contribute significantly enough to warrant authorship. This section is important for ethical and professional reasons, ensuring that all contributions are properly recognized. The acknowledgement section of a scientific article provides an opportunity to recognize and thank those who contributed to the research but do not meet the criteria for authorship. The criteria for authorship in scientific publications are crucial for maintaining the integrity of scholarly communication. These criteria are established to ensure that anyone listed as an author on a publication truly deserves the credit and bears responsibility for the content. Here are the common criteria for authorship, often endorsed by academic journals and organizations like the International Committee of Medical Journals. Here are a key element to be considered as author or co-author. Substantial contributions. The individual has made significant contributions to the conception or design of a work, or the acquisition, analysis, or interpretation of data for the work. The person has drafted the work or revised it critically for important intellectual content. Final approval. The individual must approve the final version of the manuscript to be published. This indicates that they take responsibility for the work in the context of ensuring its integrity and accuracy. Accountability. Each author should be able to identify which co-authors are responsible for specific other parts of the work, and they should have confidence in the integrity of the contributions of their co-authors. Authors should have participated sufficiently in the work to take public responsibility for appropriate portions of the content. They should also be able to identify which co-authors are responsible for specific other parts of the work. Investigation and analysis. Participating actively in the acquisition of data, or performing a significant amount of analysis and interpretation of data. These criteria aim to prevent gift or guest authorship, where individuals are listed as authors despite not having made significant contributions to the research. They also help to avoid disputes among co-authors about attribution and responsibility. By adhering to these criteria, the academic community can help ensure that credit is fairly assigned and that the published work is transparent and reproducible. The acknowledgments section in a scientific article serves several crucial purposes that contribute to the integrity and transparency of scholarly communication. Giving credit. One of the primary functions of this section is to credit individuals, groups, or institutions that contributed to the research but do not meet the criteria for authorship. This could include providing intellectual guidance, technical support, or other forms of assistance that facilitated the research. Acknowledging these contributors respects their roles and underscores the collaborative nature of scientific endeavors. Disclosure of funding. Acknowledging funding sources is essential as it highlights potential conflicts of interest and ensures transparency regarding the financial backing that supported the research. This is critical for the reader's understanding of the potential biases or influences that might affect the research outcomes or interpretations. Ethical compliance. Many journals and institutions require that all contributions and financial supports are disclosed as a part of ethical compliance in publishing. This helps maintain the integrity of the scientific record and ensures that all parties involved in the research are appropriately recognized. Professional courtesy. The section serves as a professional courtesy to thank and recognize those who contributed to the study, fostering goodwill and maintaining relationships within the scientific community. This can be important for ongoing and future collaborations. Enhancing credibility. By transparently disclosing assistance and funding, researchers enhance the credibility of their work. Readers can see the exhaustive list of inputs and evaluate the research with a clear understanding of its background. This section thus plays a pivotal role in the scholarly publication process, ensuring that all contributions are appropriately acknowledged and that the research is presented with maximum transparency. The acknowledgement section, while not mandatory, is significant as it reflects the collaborative nature of scientific research and acknowledges contributions that were substantial but did not qualify for authorship. The acknowledgment section of a scientific article is composed of several key elements, each serving to provide clear and transparent recognition of the contributions that supported the research. Here's a detailed explanation of these elements. Financial support. It's crucial to list any grants, contracts, or other forms of funding that supported the research. This typically includes the names of the funding agencies and relevant grant numbers. Acknowledging scholarships or fellowships that supported the researchers during the period of their study shows the sources of personal financial support. Contributions from individuals. This includes anyone who provided advice, expertise, or consultation that significantly shaped the research outcomes. Technicians or lab assistants who facilitated experiments or contributed technically to the project are acknowledged here. Individuals who helped in proofreading, editing, and improving the manuscript but did not contribute to the core scientific content. Institutional support. Acknowledging institutions that provided essential resources such as lab space, equipment, or computational infrastructure, recognizing administrative personnel or offices that assisted in the logistical aspects of the research, like project management or regulatory approvals. Collaborators and mentors. Senior professionals or mentors who guided the research process without being co-authors. Other research groups or collaborators who contributed indirectly, such as providing data, samples, or shared unpublished results. Ethical or regulatory acknowledgment. Mentioning the approval of the study by ethical review boards, especially in medical or psychological research. Acknowledging permissions or licenses obtained for the research, which could include governmental or environmental clearances. Peer review. Sometimes, authors choose to thank the anonymous peer reviewers whose suggestions helped refine the manuscript, although this is less common and depends on the journal's policies. Incorporating these elements into the acknowledgment section helps to maintain the transparency of the research contributions and supports ethical standards in scholarly publications. This detailed listing not only credits those who directly or indirectly contributed to the research, but also provides context that may be relevant for evaluating the research findings and potential biases. The writing style of the acknowledgment section in a scientific article is typically characterized by several key stylistic choices that ensure clarity, formality, and appropriateness. Here's a detailed look at these stylistic elements. Conciseness. Brevity. The acknowledgments should be succinct, focusing on essential contributions without overly detailed descriptions. This helps in maintaining the focus on the research while adequately recognizing contributors. Directness. Statements should be direct and to the point, clearly stating the nature of the support or contribution without ambiguity. Formality. Professional tone. The language used should be formal and respectful, reflecting the professional nature of the publication. Third-person perspective. Generally, acknowledgments are written in the third person to maintain formality and objectivity. For example, the authors would like to thank instead of I would like to thank. Clarity. Specificity. It's important to be specific about the type of support or contribution. For instance, if acknowledging financial support, specify the grant number and the agency. If thanking individuals, clarify their contribution, whether it's intellectual input, technical assistance, or manuscript editing. Avoid jargon. While the research itself might be complex, the acknowledgment section should avoid technical jargon to ensure it is accessible to a broader audience, including non-specialist readers. Gratitude. Expressing thanks. The tone should convey genuine gratitude. Phrases like gratefully acknowledge, wish to thank, or would like to express our gratitude to are commonly used. Equitable recognition. Ensure that all contributors are thanked appropriately and equitably, reflecting their roles accurately without undue emphasis on any single contribution unless it is significantly greater. Order of mention. Prioritizing contributions. Often funders or institutions providing substantial support are mentioned first, followed by individuals who made significant contributions, and finally, any minor assistance or general thanks. Grouping similar contributions. Similar types of support or contributors can be grouped together to streamline the section. For instance, all funding sources can be mentioned in one sentence and all technical assistance in another. Personal touches. Personal thanks. Occasionally, authors may include personal thanks to family members or friends who supported them emotionally or in non-academic capacities during the research. This should be done sparingly and kept separate from professional acknowledgments. By adhering to these stylistic guidelines, the acknowledgment section will effectively and professionally convey gratitude and recognize contributions, reinforcing the integrity and collaborative nature of the scientific endeavor. A few examples will clarify this discussion. Examples of an acknowledgment section. Here are a few examples of well-crafted acknowledgments for scientific articles, each followed by an explanation of why they are effective. Example 1. We wish to thank Dr. John Smith for his expert advice on the XYZ aspects of our study and the ABC University Core Facility for providing the necessary equipment. This work was supported by the National Institutes of Health under grant number XXXX. Why it's effective. Specificity. This acknowledgement specifies the type of support received from both a person and an institution, which enhances transparency. Formality. The language is formal and appreciative, suitable for a professional document. Comprehensiveness. It covers different types of support, intellectual and material, while also acknowledging financial backing. Example 2. The authors gratefully acknowledge the helpful comments and suggestions of the reviewers, which have improved the manuscript. Special thanks to Ms. Emily White for her assistance with data analysis. Why it's effective. Gratitude expression. The text begins by expressing gratitude, which is courteous and professional. Clarity. The specific roles of the contributors are clearly mentioned, for example, reviewers for their comments and a named individual for technical assistance. Balanced recognition. It acknowledges both peer and technical support, showing a balance in recognizing contribution. Example 3. This research was funded by grant number XX from the Department of Science. We also thank the staff of the GHI laboratory for their technical support. Why it's effective. Transparency. Mentioning the specific grant and funding department provides transparency and highlights potential sources of support that readers should be aware of. Conciseness. It's brief yet comprehensive, covering both financial and technical support without excessive detail. Example 4. Heartfelt thanks to Professor Linda Green for her guidance throughout this project and to the Johnson Research Group for their insightful discussions and encouragement. Why it's effective. Personal touch. The use of heartfelt thanks adds a personal touch that humanizes the acknowledgement while remaining professional. Comprehensive recognition. This example appreciates both mentorship and collaborative support, acknowledging a broader community involvement in the research. Each of these examples demonstrates effective acknowledgement writing by being clear, specific, formal, and appropriately appreciative. They ensure that all forms of contributions to the research are transparently and respectfully recognized. Having thoroughly explored the acknowledgement section, detailing its purpose, key elements, and writing style, we can now transition to understanding another vital part of a scientific article, the appendices. This section is crucial for providing supplementary material that supports the core findings of the research but does not fit seamlessly into the main text. Learning about the appendices will complete our understanding of the structural components essential for crafting comprehensive and informative scientific papers. Thank you very much for thoroughly watching the acknowledgement sections of Anatomy of an Academic Article. To deepen your understanding, I highly encourage you to watch the next video titled Anatomy of an Academic Article, Appendices. This video provides a detailed overview of the key components essential to understanding the appendices section of academic article. Your engagement is appreciated, and I hope you find this video both informative and beneficial.